The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Scott, for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Chairman Lynch. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
As the chairman of our FinTech Task Force, and thanks for holding this hearing, and thank you all for coming here and doing such a wonderful job with your testimonies. Ms. Nickenbauer, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, Nickenbrocker, is that correct? Did I get it right? All right. I want to kind of, you seem to really hit the nail on the head with your statement, your opening statement, and I quote, you're saying, when done responsibly, innovation can increase consumers' choice, improve the delivery of products and services, and enable financial institutions to more effectively meet the needs of consumers, including those who are unbanked and underbanked businesses and communities. I think you hit it right on the head there, because this is one of the reasons I've been involved in the FinTech. I'm chairman of the bipartisan FinTech caucus, and we have a bill that we're working with, along with our chair lady, Ms. Maxine Waters, and it's called the FinTech Act. And it's to get us out, to get us into some guardrail situations. And paramount of what we're trying to do is to make sure, because as you know, you're the chief regulator, you're the OCC, you've got this special order going out for the FinTech's regulation. So it is very important that with all of the different financial regulators that to a degree feel they have a piece of FinTechs here, it's important for us to get out front a bill that will give harmonization. If there are regulatory agencies that may feel each one has a piece of the action, and hopefully as we work through this, a point of entry that to come into the regulatory system. And so I wanted to say, if you felt that our bill, the FinTech Act, again, which would establish harmonization among federal regulators to eliminate duplication and conflicting regulations impacting FinTech companies. Bipartisan, as I said, my good friend Barrett Loudermilk, Mr. Lukemeyer on that side. We got my good friend Gottenheimer, Mr. Lawson on this side, and of course we are working with Chair Lady on this bill. So I'd like for you to comment on that. Do you agree with us for regulatory harmonization of FinTech companies to allow for certainty and stability, as in our FinTech Act?
So much of the work that the Office of Innovation does, in fact, the majority of the work that we do is working with banks and FinTechs to talk about what the expectations are in operating in a regulated environment and trying to understand where there are uncertainties. And oftentimes those uncertainties are perceived. And I think it's important that in order for us to reach those goals that we all believe are important around FinTech and the evolution of banking, to be able to break down those perceptions so that we can operate in a more efficient and effective manner. Harmonization is also important. It's a little challenging sometimes when you have multiple regulators that have different mandates, but we all are working, I believe, as effectively as we can to look at opportunities for harmonization. An example of that is the Treasury report had talked about third-party risk management and having the regulators try to find places where we could be more in harmony, if you will. And we have, in fact, done that. There's been a number of discussions about that, and we're continuing to meet to focus on that because it's one of the biggest issues where banks and FinTechs partner.
And so if you could very quickly, how would you look at the efforts that are already underway among the federal banking regulators within the FinTech? What would be the landscape right now?
So I would say that the landscape right now is that we're working very cooperatively. All of us on this panel talk on a regular basis. The Office of Innovations and those groups of the agencies that are focused on innovation work on a regular basis to talk about how we can improve our programs. We share a lot of information. In addition, now what we're doing, and particularly with fintechs or banks that have particular questions that are for another regulator, we'll do introductions through the Office of Innovation to either Paul's group or Valerie's group, and that's been very effective in reducing some of that uncertainty.
Thank you very much.